this bitch together. I gotta stop hitting shit off this. I desperately need a new tripod. We should take some of that YouTube money and invest into a $15 Amazon tripod. We might have to wait for 2 months to get enough profit.
Yeah,
but
it's gonna be a while.
We'll get some of that YouTube money going. All right, what are we doing today, bud?
We're gonna get the engine in this YFZR chassis. So the
part 2, we already watched you do a bunch of modifications to the frame over on your alignment table. Talk us through that.
Yeah, I had to install this lower engine mount. We had to modify where this new cross frame spar goes.
It had to clear the dirt bike engine right up here.
Yeah, it had to be. There's a spot in the frame that had to be removed, and then I had to drill that hole. So,
and if they didn't see the first video, give them an update. Frame and engine. What are we doing?
Frame it's a Yamaha YFZR. I believe it's like a 2012 or something like that. They were pretty much the same from 09 to 25.
Okay.
The engine is a 21 YZ450F dirt bike.
Dirt bike engine going in the ATV frame. You've seen us do it before. This one's different because why?
That's just another build. Very similar.
Hybrid.
Yeah, just very similar to the last one that we did. It's undecided on a rear axle. We're probably going to put the stock one in it for now.
Well, I'm not sure if the camera shows it. Hopefully it does there. It's got a nice flake in that black paint. So paint or powder coat?
Powder coat.
Okay, that is a good looking frame. Good looking engine. Anything we need to talk about with that? What's been done to it?
Engine is stock other than I installed a Hinson BTL slipper clutch.
Okay, so the main reason guys do this is because the dirt bike engine, newer, and actually puts out more horsepower.
More horsepower
than the ATV engine that comes in this machine.
Yes, it's also lighter, more compact. There is things with that, you know, some guys complain about the weight bias is off and you got to weight the front some. But in the overall, you're getting the power to weight ratio is way better.
Gotcha. Well, take us over to this table with your parts here and let's go over some of that stuff. The main thing I noticed laying out is you've got your MR Unlimited wiring harness. Talk us through this, because you obviously have a dirt bike engine trying to mount into an ATV frame and everything has to work together.
The last one that we built, we used the stock harness. The RP Race kit is designed to use the stock harness. But the problem with that, where the ECU is located is right on the upper right-hand side of the engine. The wiring is really tight to that. The wiring is tight to the coil. The wiring is tight to, I believe it's the TPS and to the fuel pump. It can all work, just not great. So what we do here is relocate and put either the stock ECU or a Vortex up in the front where your little indicator panel would be in the plastic.
Yeah, we'll show you guys what he's talking about. He basically puts it right up here. It resides right here on the front.
Yeah, so it's this bracket is made. And
it's actually a little bit higher up, yeah.
And that's what holds, you know, the ECU.
So all your wiring has to go now to this general location.
Yes.
And that's what the purpose of that harness. In addition, you also put on a nice loom, which helps keep it protected. You've got a little bit better quality materials, it looks like, than what stock uses.
Yeah, I mean, all the layout of the wiring harness has all been changed to give the correct lengths to all the sensors. In addition, like we said, we're moving the ECU to the front. This generation of harness, this is for a 20 to 22. It just makes the whole process of fitment, durability. We have a couple out there currently being used, and it's working very well. But this is a build-to-order situation. And not only for this, make it for the CRF, making them for the YFZR 450, different combinations, whether you got a KTM throttle body, an RP race throttle body. We're doing a keyless. We mount the Vortex in the front. So there's a lot of, variations,
yeah.
There's a lot of variation.
And that's why they're built to order.
They're built to order.
So you don't have these on the shelf that somebody can say, hey, I just want one of those cool harnesses you make. They could be running, like you said, the KTM throttle body, where you have to actually modify the harness to work with the KTM. Yeah. So it is custom built to order. If you guys are interested, reach out to Mario on Facebook Messenger.
Yes.
All right, what's our first step of getting this thing going? Is it the engine in the chassis?
Engine's in the chassis. I'm going to pull this frame spar. It's just loose. I'm just going to pull it out of the way, and then we're going to install the engine.
All right, let's get to work. All right, pass it to me. Throw it.
Throwing the football.
You got it all. Right. You got it.
Put the swing arm pivot bolt in, but I'm not going to put any grease to it because I need to pull it back out to put the swing arm in. The swing arm's missing an end cap, so we're not going to install that yet, but I am just going to put the pivot bolt in to kind of help us align everything.
Yeah, steady everything. Get it where it has to be. Pivot. Before we go too tight, let's try to get that bolt back in.
It is, isn't it?
In the bottom?
Yeah.
Oh, you're still in. I thought you pushed that one out. Okay.
Well, I did, but then came back to it.
All right, so you've got your swing arm bolt, the bottom bolt, and these mocked up loosely.
Yeah.
Then you have to...
The top one.
Yeah.
So here's the...
Yeah, where's that plate?
Here's that top one.
And show them where it hangs.
So it goes up into here.
Let me come around. And that secures it to underneath here.
Yeah, this goes into that.
Will this line up? Are you close?
Yeah, it's close.
All right. In this video, guys, I think we're only going to show you a certain amount of this build process. You'll have to wait for part 3 for probably the completion of this build. Mario, like he said, is waiting for a few parts for the swing arm, the spacers that actually pinch the side of your engine here. So he's going to focus this video on getting the front end built, steering stem, A-arms, spindles, hubs, brakes. You got pretty much everything we need to get that front end.
Yeah, we're going to get things into it. I have to come back through and Loctite and torque everything.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it. This is our rear-facing engine, right? Out of the Dirtbike.
Yes.
So your intake is actually up front, and your exhaust is out the back, whereas the ATV motor, exact opposite.
Yeah, the technology is all in the Dirtbike. I mean, that's...
Like I said, it's a dying industry. Nobody's putting time into the sport quads anymore, and it's a damn shame. It's crazy all the ATVs I see in cross-country racing, and I imagine that in motocross, there's just as many competitors out there.
Yeah.
The sport is alive and well in our area in upstate New York. It's a shame the manufacturers can't keep producing. I mean, what was it? 15 years ago, we had Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Yamaha. 20 years ago, we had
KTM.
We had KTM 20 years ago, and Cannondale.
We had Can-Am,
Can-Am DS 450.
like in 16, I think.
Yeah, recently, I know it's 15, maybe 20 years ago now, but recently we had many, many manufacturers still involved with this sport.
Yeah, it is a shame for sure.
These are not the shocks he's running, are they?
No, these
are just for mock-up.
This is just to hold everything up, yeah.
Okay. Why'd you take that hub off?
Well, I screwed up. The cameraman figured out that I didn't put the nice little brake, rock protector, rock guard on.
I'm just trying to get you to put your best work out there, bud.
You have to have the camera guy assist.
It is a really nice part. Plasma cut?
Water jet.
Water jet cut, okay. So you Yamaha riders, check out mrunlimited.net. Get yourself some. Tie rods, and are we doing a Walsh stem?
No, this is stock.
This isn't the high-end one that our last client built, huh?
He was trying to, so to say, like budget build the thing, but you know how that goes.
Oh yeah, I've tried a couple budget builds myself.
Good.
It is a Tuesday morning, late morning, and if you think your job sucks, we're here in the shop playing with four-wheelers, man.
Yeah.
It could get worse.
It's horrible.
It could always get worse, dude. What can we say? That YouTube money is so enticing, we just can't say no.
Maybe someday my grandkids will watch Grandpa tinkering.
What's he working on? Well, that's a four-wheeler. They don't make them anymore.
Yeah, probably what it'll be too.
Once the government got involved with your recreational activities, they shut it right down.
I'll focus on emissions out of these things, but we can have red 40 in our food.
Yeah.
Thank you for stopping.
Thanks for the dye that gave me cancer. So he's using a stock thumb throttle.
Yes.
Off the ATV. Those look awesome.
You like them?
I really do like that bend. What is it? It's a Renthal what?
I don't know. Look at the
It
package.
says Renthal fat bar.
It's Reed Wyndham.
Oh, it's the Reed Wyndham bar. Never mind. Jason Anderson runs it. I want nothing to do with that douche canoe window licker. Stock brake line, just brand new. No, it's a
No, it's streamlined.
Streamline. Those are nice.
I'm pretty sure I put the throttle cable through here and not the...
And let the viewer know, what is your preferred brake fluid? Who do you trust? What brand?
I've been using Bellray Height. It's actual racing brake fluid. It's a .4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I use the same thing for my quad. Bellray makes a good product. And how do you bleed your brake systems? Do you use a vacuum?
Yeah, initially I will. And then I'll let them gravity bleed. And then I will, do the conventional pump them up.
And I've actually seen a reverse bleed technique. Have you seen it with a syringe? They force the oil up, and what it does is it pushes all your air high through the line to come out your reservoir.
I've done that too. Sometimes some systems just, they don't want to work on a pull. So sometimes
forcing it upwards.
Yeah, that seems to work.
Yep.
What's interesting to me with these brakes, and it's not just Yamaha, but if you look here, so you see how this boss, the aluminum boss that's coming out of the back of it, okay, is facing the back of the vehicle. Okay, this one's facing the front of the vehicle. Okay, it's the correct side. But why they don't have that boss on the back so that you could index it like I did over there? So now I have to, now that I'm looking at that, I want to index that where I'm coming straight out of it.
And it's the mold of the caliper that's different.
Yes.
I know, but why they put this locking nub, and I'm assuming that locking nub is for the
Yeah, it's
line.
for the line. That's how they...
This one is rotated if you're looking at it from the side, maybe 1 or 2 o'clock. This one is like almost straight up and down at 12 o'clock. It should be more over this side.
Well, that's what my complaint is.
Yeah.
Or not complaint, but question. I don't understand why it's not over there.
Right. As Ricky Carmichael would say,
interesting.
it's interesting. It's important.
Ricky guy's something else.